Hey, shalom. Yabba Shem Shabbat Chupanaya. Coming through out of San Ho. All right. We'll go ahead and get started real quick. give me 1 second. Double back. Be right back. Right into it. right. Right. Let's go ahead. Clap it up. Go ahead, start the class tonight. Matter of fact, get these candles lit as well, as it is the Feast of Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication. Make sure we honor our culture and keep the candles lit. Understand? Light up the menorah. Keep our culture alive and well. Keep this flame lit that is symbolic of the flame and the fire that's supposed to be lit inside of you, and the zeal that we all need to take in this walk of serving the Lord, of serving the Most High in Christ, and the things that we have learned in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana. All right, this is the ISUPK Northern California. We'll start off and say Shalom, Yasharallah, Hashem, Yahushai, you know what I'm saying? Barakathum to all the brothers, and Shalom, Yahweh Shemar, Latham, Hashem, Yahushai to all the sisters of the Akwathian in the Hebrew, or the Akim in the Hebrew. Tonight, I'm gonna go in a certain direction, right? We're starting the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25. The title of the class is the Willie Lynch, right? Willie Lynch syndrome. If people are familiar with the Willie Lynch papers, let me see, Willie Lynch letter PDF. We can pull it up a little bit. Let's see who has it. If we can find any things. So let's see. Let's make a slave. Wow. I think this one is I think this is good enough version of it right here. See, I might find one more. Willie Lynch syndrome. See if I can pull this up. I keep trying to sell me versions of this. Let's see. All right. Let's go with this version that I got right here. All right. Long story short, short story long. The reason why I wanted to address the Willie Lynch syndrome tonight is this topic right here is so important and so prevalent in the Black and Hispanic community, the Black and Native Indian community, the dynamics of relationships. So much so, Commander Junior Hanna explained last night that that's the most searched thing by Black people in America, because we have been lost on how to have relationships between men and women and men. So much so we've grown up in houses without a father. The majority of Black Americans at one point in time grew up in a home without a father in the household. Single parent households ran by women has been the norm. Let's see if we can find out. Is there any specific number on this? Let's see. How many black people? Damn, I didn't even have to finish typing it into Google. Google already knows what I want. I started to type how many black people grow, and it already put without fathers. Let's see what the AI. According to recent data, approximately 47.5% of black children in the United States live without a resident father, meaning a significant portion of black people grow up without fathers in the home. This represents around 5.3 million children, which is the lowest percentage since 1973. All right. So, in essence, I guess it's moving in the right direction, right? It's going down. And we're going to credit that to, young black men. We don't want to completely, how do I want to say it, live in a reality that's defined by our oppressors, because black men are some of the best fathers and statistically spend the most time with their children and are there for them more than a lot of other nationalities. However, this dynamic that between some point in time between the 19, I would say 60s into the early 2000s, there was a major point in our history where the majority of the children grew up without a father in their lives, without a father to influence them or live in the same household as them. Let's see with this. So this is an article that came out in February 1st of 2023. Our nation is home to approximately 24 million fatherless children. Nearly 70% of all black babies in America today are born to unmarried mothers, and 64% of all black children grow up in single parent homes. Tragically, fatherlessness strongly correlates with the negative outcomes in nearly every aspect of a child's life. Fatherless families are 25% more likely to raise a child in poverty. 90% of all homeless and runaway children do not have a father. Good night. If you go and see somebody that's homeless on the street, that's a 90% chance. 9 out of 10 of those children didn't have a father. It's a hell of a statistic right there, showing you something. Additionally, 85% of children and teens with behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. Fatherless children also account for 71% of child substance abuse cases, and approximately 70% of all youth in state-operated institutions are fatherless. The children that are in the prisons, children that are in the juvenile hall systems come from fatherless homes. The issues of abortion and fatherlessness are closely linked, as one of every 3 pregnancies in a fatherless home in an abortion. Good night. America's epidemic of fatherless children largely correlates with abortion rates, and women raised in fatherless homes account for approximately 70% of all teen pregnancies. All right. So, I wish we had someone right here, man, to know what exactly precept I'm going to go to next right here, man. This is if the brother online, Tupa Nayak, what is the precept to go to talk about the the dangers of being raised in a fatherless home? I'm gonna give you a second to type it in. Right. This is a One West precept. Right. How do you know the importance of removing a a man from the house? I don't want to give it all away. You understand? in order to destroy a people or their community, right? Give me one more second. Let's see if brothers know what I'm talking about. If not, we'll go straight to it. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse, matter of fact, Mark chapter 3, verse 27. The book of Mark, chapter 3, and verse 27. And it reads, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Once again, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. Like, you can't enter into a strong man's house, a brother that is righteous, a brother that is leading his family, a brother that is protecting his family, a brother that sees the things that your oppressor is doing to destroy your family. Okay, what the brother got? Let's see. Deuteronomy 32 and 7 is the only thing I think which the average so-called black kid can't do. Let's see what you got, though. Let's see if this correlates. It still might be a solid precept. Both sides of Christ for the brother. Deuteronomy 32. And what do you say? Deuteronomy 32, 7. Let's see what it says. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Okay. The Most High separated nations out of the mouths of people. Okay, that's a solid precept. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Like, that precept is definitely touching on our culture prior to us being in captivity and how the fathers would tell you the way things were. That you could go and connect with the men you were raised up and learn about how things were before and see it from their viewpoint. Nowadays, if you don't notice, the majority of children, they may know the side of their family, of their mothers, but a lot of Black and Hispanic people don't know the families of their fathers. When you go into these holidays and celebrating all this, etc., you're going to be around your mother's family. You're going to, stay over at your mother's side of the family. No one knows their father's side of the family when it was really supposed to be the other way around. Our culture was supposed to be us being around our father's family, us being around the men that our father known and our father came up under. And that's what the UPK is bringing back. Like, we're pushing the culture with the men at the forefront being in the position of leadership, because that's what the Black family is missing. It's missing that strong man, right, who is not going to allow you to destroy his family or to spoil his goods. So just in a simple explanation, like, you cannot steal from a man's house unless you come in there and tie him up first. Unless you break into his house and put him to death first, right? In order for our oppressor to destroy the Black family, they have to get the man out of the picture first. So this is why these statistics are here. And they're showing you the evidence and the fruit of this. 90% of the children living homeless, or children or people living homeless, come from a house without a father. The majority of the brothers that are in the penitentiary come from a house that was raised without a father. The majority of the sisters that are having abortions and are, killing their seed, grew up without a father. Why is that? Because this is an important part of raising a family. All right, let's go. We're gonna go to Matthew 12 and 25. I think it talks about that a little bit in here. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 25. So log in for my voice going out. Just getting over something. I don't know what I had. COVID. Or who knows, man. But let's go ahead and keep it going. So let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 22 for context. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. So this is how Christ was out here doing the work. They brought different people. They're blind, they're dumb, meaning they're not allowed to speak. They're blind, they can't see, right? And Christ healed them. And so that the people that were blind were able to see, the people that were dumb, that weren't able to speak, were able to speak. Verse 23, and all the people were amazed and said, is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. So they're saying Christ is not the one that is making these people better, that's healing these people. It's a demon that's allowing him to be able to heal these people and make them better, right? Verse 25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right? So we can take this twofold, right? What is Christ saying? He's saying, hey, if I'm out here and I'm using Satan to help heal these people, then Satan will not have any power in the earth. Because how can I work for the devil and then heal people from the devil? Doesn't make sense. And proving that by saying a house divided cannot stand. If, and this is what our oppressors are going through right now, if America is so divided where they hate each other, if you're a Trump supporter and you are a Democrat, people are saying they don't even want to sit down and have a meal with their family members that voted for Donald Trump. And people that are supporting Donald Trump don't want to hear or have anything to do with anybody that's against him. This house is divided, and this is a glorious thing to see when it comes to our oppressor, when it comes to our enemies, which lets you know that's how they feel about us. Like, unless you really view your oppressor as your enemy, you won't know how to analyze or interpret the things that they're going through. What do I mean by that? Like me, if I see an oppressor strung out on drugs, I say, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh. You know what I mean? Like, that is bad for their people and it's excellent for my people. That's one less devil out of the way. He's just the walking dead. He didn't take it himself out of the game of life, and he is not a threat to my people. I know my people don't have to worry about one less devil because he's over here strung out on dope. That's how they feel about you. That's how they view you. When they see you on drugs and you living homeless, they like, oh, we is one less nigga we got to worry about. One less nigga that can come and try to take a job that I'm going to get. That's one less nigga I got to worry about to come and try to do this and do that and do this and do that. Like, they look at us as the enemy of their people, so they glory in the fact of us selling drugs to each other. They glory in the fact of our families being destroyed and being separated. They glory in that. We should find glory And the same thing with them. And so, as their house is getting more and more divided, this is a glorious thing to see because we know that this house cannot stand because of their hatred for one another. But on the flip side, let's see. Um, on the flip side, if we want to build up the black family, the Latino family, we're going to have to stand together. We're going to have to be united. We can't be divided against each other. How can you build up a household when you're constantly at war with your woman? And so that's what I wanted to bring out this Willie Lynch uh, paper and this Willie Lynch syndrome, as people may talk about, that we have in our community. So let's see. I'm going to share this. You might be able to see this slide, or it might be small writing. We'll see how it looks. No, not this one. Let me see, not that one. Let's share this one. All right. This paper is talking about the Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave. This is a letter, they say, some people say allegedly it was this is something that was made up in modern times. It didn't come from back then. But the information in it expresses what you would need to do to make a slave and how you would to do it, how you would be able to do it. And this one is the intro of it. And the reality is the things that are explained in here are accurate in how we are living today. So someone had this information and someone was applying this information to destroying our people, right? So it says the first part, gentlemen, I greet you here on the banks of James River in the year of our Lord 1712. Blah, 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 blah. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Um, he says, your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I've experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. This is interesting as we are in the Feast of Dedication, where we know the Greeks and the Romans conquered our people. And they knew that the Greeks and the Romans did so many things to enslave the world and enslave the children of Israel that they were the best to do it. And they're saying the things that they've learned is going to make them even better than ancient Rome, which is so spiritual because we know these people are the same people that Christ was going against, right? He was the one that was fighting against the Roman Empire, right? All right, so let's see. Good night. So let's see. While Rome, we're going to skim through a little bit. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stocks by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what problems are. I do not need to, what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. However, I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. And so, why are they hanging these black men? Because these black men are fighting back. And they're saying you're losing valuable stocks by hangings. What does it profit you for you to kill this man that is valuable to you? You already spent this amount of money to purchase him, let alone he's supposed to go and work on your field and bring a return on your investment. when you hang him and kill him, you're not making any money doing that. And so they also are having uprisings, rebellions, running away, setting your crops on fire, killing animals. In order for you to survive and be successful, you're going to have some type of knowledge. And that's what Willie Lynch is providing for these slave masters. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I don't want to miss any. Okay, how do I get further? Okay. So let's go. Let's go down a little bit. They had to deal with that. Okay. Let's make a slave. Let's make a slave is a study of the scientific process of man breaking and slave making. It describes the rationale and the results of the Anglo-Saxons' ideas and methods ensuring the master slash slave relationship. They want to make sure you remain a slave and they remain in charge. How do we break a man that's not a slave into a slave? How do we turn him into a slave? These are the things that you have to do. The origin and development of a social being called a slave. Let us make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man and a pregnant nigger woman and her baby nigger boy. Second, I will use the same basic principle that we use in the breaking of a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. All right. When we do it with horses, we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature, whereas nature provides them with a natural capacity to take care of their needs and the needs of their offspring. We break the natural string of independence from them and thereby create a dependency state so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure. That's the first step that the oppressor does. In order to destroy the Black and Latino community, we have to become dependent upon them for survival, dependent upon them on how we are going to worship our God, dependent upon them on how our family is going to operate. These are the things that we have become to be comfortable with, which originally we were not comfortable with, right? And so let's keep going. For fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both horse and man, we lay down the art. For if we sustain our basic economy, we must break and tie both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. We understand that short range planning and economic results in periodic chaos. So that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have a breadth and depth and long range comprehensive planning, articulation both of skills and sharp perception. So they're saying we don't want to just make you a slave and it lasts in your mind for a couple months or a couple years. We need to have generational, how we always saw everybody today, we want to make generational wealth. We got to break the generational curses. We want to do generational this and generational that. They're thinking about generations ahead of right now. They want you to still be a slave because they can build up the foundation of their society knowing they're going to have slave labor 200, 300, 400 years from now. You can't make a plan for a society knowing you need slaves in order for this society to survive. And then 2-3 years into it, these cats start fighting against you, wanting to kill you, set your crops on fire, wanting to, get and build something of their own, right? And so how are they going to do it? We lay down the following principles for long-range, comprehensive economic plan. So I'm going to read through this a little bit, and then we're going to go back into some of these precepts, right? Both horse and nigger are no good to the economy in their wild or natural state. No horse is good for you to make money as someone that uses a horse to carry messages from this side of the country to that side of the country, uses a horse to round up cows. You're a cowboy, uses horses to fight in your wars. That is not going to be a valuable animal to you in its natural state because it's not going to let you ride it. It's not going to pull your carriage. It's going to get away from you. It's going to buck and it's going to fight you to get away from you because it's a free natural horse. The same way is how a black man or a Latino man is going to act in our natural state without this slave breaking happening to us. And then it says both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. So you got to lower the horse into a submissive domestic state. You got to lower the black man into a submissive and domestic state in order to use us in order to help the society. All right. For the orderly futures, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the young offspring. So these are the things in the UPK that we know. That different brothers may come into the school or want to do the work of the Lord, the things that's going to prevent them from doing it 9 times out of 10, or it's going to be two things. It's going to be their need to get high, and it's going to be their weakness behind a woman. And so if we know these things, our oppressor knows these things. You want to destroy the brothers, then destroy the woman first. Special attention must be paid to the female and the young offspring. Destroy the children as well. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and a division of labor. Both must be taught to respond to a particular new language. Psychology and physical instruction of containment must be created. Blah, 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 blah. That's a little extra wordy stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. Let's get it. So, a brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. So, if you study how they're going to raise their children, you'll be able to feel comfortable knowing you're going to make money for generations on generations. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. So, I always remember in the UPK, one thing that we say and we battling people about how we're supposed to evolve and become better. Brothers in the world may say we need to do this and we need to do that to work with our oppressors and get within the system. And that's how we're going to get out of this captivity. And brothers would always say, we didn't get into this captivity with debates. We didn't get into this slavery with having, conversations with these devils. We were brought into here through chains. So the only way we're going to get out of here is we're going to have to break those chains. We're going to have to put somebody else into some change, right? And so in order for us to get free, we can't just focus on the present generations. We want to focus on future generations because the stronger we get as a nation of people, the easier it will be to come up out of this people, out of this nation. All right. And so in order to focus on the future generations, the first thing you need to do is break the female mother. If you want to break a horse to do what you needed to do, to let you ride it in the rodeo, to let you use it to pull your carriage, you need to use a horse to ride from this state to that state to deliver mail on the Pony Express. The first thing you need to do is break the mother. She will break the offspring in its early years in development. When the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you, for her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. So this female not only is going to make sure that this offspring uh, continues doing the things that she has been taught by the oppressor, she will often deliver up that child to the oppressor in order to save that child's life. She will want to motivate it to be more like them. And that's what we see today. We see women raising children to be more and more effeminate. It's more and more acceptable by society. Right. Let's go. Let's go. If you want to, you got to completely break the female horse until she becomes gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in comfort. And that's the state that we have today. All right. Let me go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing this for now, and then we'll come back and come back a little bit into the Willie Lynch papers. Let's bring out some of the precepts that I got and showing you in the Bible how these devils take advantage of that. All right. So let's see. Let's go to First Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. First Peter chapter 3, verse 7. So let's see. Let's start at First Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise. This is something that is in direct contradiction to the Willie Lynch syndromes. It's telling the wives to be in subjection to their own husbands. Willie Lynch wanted to reverse the roles of the men and women. Willie Lynch, if Christ or the Lord said, wives be in subjection to your own husbands, what is Willie Lynch saying? What is the devil saying? What is your oppressor saying? Husbands be in subjection to your wives. You can't have equality. You can't have this fantasy world where everybody is equal and whatever you do, I can do. And that is how we're going to run things. That's not realistic. In order for us to um, move forward as a nation, someone has to be in front, someone has to lead the people. And so that's who the fathers are supposed to be. So likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise. All right. So in order, even if your husband is not in the truth, you obey him, you be honorable. He may say, what's going on with this UPK stuff that you're coming back here and being absolutely amazing in how you treat me. That brother is going to want to find out what the hell is going on and see, is this place genuinely a righteous place, even though his woman is being amongst uh, men like this, right? So let's see. Let's drop down a little bit. Let's go to verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, right? And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Like husbands, we are supposed to dwell with them or women according to knowledge. Where do you get the knowledge from? The Bible. The priests and prophets of the Lord that teach the Bible. That's where you get the knowledge from of how to deal with these women. Because a lot of the things that we see in society teach you how to destroy your relationships. There's no coincidence. All these people that we see on social media, on the news, on TV, these people are always breaking up, always fighting each other because they are not following anything other than whatever they want to do. And so when it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, gain this knowledge of how to have brotherhood, how to forgive each other, how to go to sleep at night without having a grudge and not holding something overnight. Those are the things that we learn in the Bible, right? Let's move on. If you have any questions online, go ahead and type them in the chat, Baba Kashaf. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat. All right. And so one more time, verse First Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. All right, we got to honor the women as the weaker vessel. Being a weaker vessel does not mean women are supposed to be weak. It just means that they are not as strong as a man when it comes to different situations, especially uh, tough decisions when it comes down to things like life and death, right? Let's go to First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Give some context. Let's run through these precepts. First Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. And it reads, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High, right? So these are some precepts about the rank and order, about how women are supposed to be following the man that is been put over her. All right. Let's drop that. Let's go to 1 Timothy 2 and 14. First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 14. And it reads, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding she shall be saved with childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Like Adam was not deceived. These things you see kids online, good night. I think I saw a couple weeks ago, it was a mother having the kids practice on the strip pole at the house. It's a mother online, I think maybe at the same house, got her sons dancing on the same strip pole. Like that woman has been deceived into thinking that this is okay, that this is right to do. It's not that she has been deceived by, how can you say, somebody directly that she's met. She's been deceived by the whole society and the whole culture that we live in, that these things are okay and acceptable. That's why we have to replace that false culture with the culture of righteousness. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Let's give First Kings. Let me get First Esdras chapter 4, verse 27. First Esdras chapter 4, verse 27. I'll probably go back. First Esdras chapter 4, verse 27. And it reads, okay, I have to go up. Let's go to verse 20. Let's go to verse 22. Hold on. Let's go to verse 20. The book of First Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up in his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. This precept right here is talking about how you go in the context that the king is asking these wise people to give him some information on what's the most important thing in life. And some of them are saying the first and most important thing is let's see, is it wine? It's a strong drink. It said the first thing is the king. No, wine is the strongest. The second wrote the king is the strongest. The third wrote women are the strongest. But above all things, truth beareth away the victory. So wine is the strongest thing that can sidetrack a man and getting high today or whatever it is, your addiction. Those things are strong in destroying. But the second person said, nah, it ain't that. It ain't liquor. You can smoke crack. No, don't take it the wrong way. But it's like being a drug addict is one thing to destroy a man, to destroy people, but a woman going off and not doing what a woman is supposed to do can destroy a man quicker than smoking crack rocks. A woman going off and doing what she's not supposed to do can destroy a man quicker than heroin. Anything that you put into the black community is not more dangerous than a black woman that is thinking and moving like a white man. Right? And so I think we drop down to chapter 4, verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up in his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? So women are the ones that's really controlling the society. That's what Beyonce and them trying to tap into, talking about girls, girls run the world, whatever. And damn all that. But there has been an energy for a long time that women are in charge of everything that we should be doing. Right. And so it's a lot here. All right. Let's keep going. Um the book of First Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 24. Hold on. Verse 21. The book of First Ezra, chapter 4, verse 21. He said not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth in his way, goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail in upon the sea, upon rivers. And so, verse 25, we skip it down a little bit for time's sake. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished and have erred and sinned for a woman. And they talk about that all the time. Like, what do you think these gangs are about? They about men trying to get some money to impress a woman. What are these cats selling dope for? So they can get some money to impress a woman. What are they buying these $500,000 cars so they can drive around and impress a woman? They got skits online all the time where they showing, some man pull up, try to talk to a woman, she don't want to hear him. He drive off in his car, in his Lambo, they come and they want to talk to him. What is that reinforcing? That's reinforcing people to be shallow and saying, you know what you need to do to get women to like you is get some money and get a car and do this and do that. And then women will listen to you and like you, not really knowing that is a trick and a wiles of the devil, man. That's not going to help you really get this woman to lock in because she, if she is like that, it doesn't matter what you have, her morals and values don't stand in anything other than caring for herself. But Salakia, this is why they're saying the most evil thing is that the most strongest thing on planet Earth is a woman, right? Because let's see, um, verse 27 again. Many also have perished in error and sin for a woman. Verse 28. And now, do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his powers? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet I did see him in the palm of the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand. And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter that she might be reconciled to him again. Like in order to maintain this woman and keep her, he's accepting all manner of disrespect or unkindness to himself that he wouldn't accept from anyone else on earth. He wouldn't let anybody else grab his crown, slap him in the face, and laugh about it. He would put them to death for these things. And that's how a lot of brothers feel growing up in this society, that sisters are allowed to come up against men in certain ways, that if things were different, they would be put to death. If that was a man dealing with you this way, talking to you this type of way, brothers would have been socked them in their jaw or put them to death. And so the reason why our sisters have become like this is going back to that Willie Lynch paper, going back to him using divide and conquer amongst us, to where the women now are dependent upon him to survive. And so they hate you because they feel like they don't need you. So that's what they say in our community. I don't need no man. Chinese women never say that. Arab women never say that. African women never say that, because they need a man to survive, because they don't have the oppressor there to support them. The only reason why he's there supporting black women and everything they do is because he doesn't want you to depend on the black man. He's not trying to support you. He's going to war with us. Understand? All right. Man, Most High in Christ, Shalom, sir. Yabashim Yashar also Madabar, Most High in Christ. I met the Ottawa at Passover. I always give Officer Madabar credit. He doesn't know he was integral in changing my life and moving me in a different direction, being head of Louisiana, because I was out in Louisiana going to Grambling and getting caught up in the oppressive system, going to jail, and I had to go back out there from California and stay there for a few months. And as the Lord destroyed my life more and more and more, I had no choice but to call out to the UPK. And the first person I called was Officer 5000 Matabar. And the first classes I was going to was over the phone with these brothers, with the men out in Louisiana and Mississippi, and Officer Wanyala out there, man. So I'm forever indebted to men like this, that the work that they have done has never been in vain, and has always gone to uplift the work of the Lord, man, and it will be forever appreciated. So the water to you, Ottawa. But so like going back to this thing, man. Why am I bringing this out around the Feast of Dedication? And a couple more precepts. I get long-winded. A couple more precepts of why I am bringing this out around this time. We are in the Feast of Dedication, and the Greeks and these stinking bastards who were following this wicked king Antiochus came amongst our people and brought in a different culture. And this culture that they brought and used against us uplifted our women to be something that is not who they are supposed to be, who is not what the Bible teaches our women to be. And when they get out of order, it's so easy to destroy the black community. You see so many brothers that don't want to serve the Lord because of a woman. that don't want to have anything in life because they completely destroyed by a woman taking their kids from them, putting child support on them, talking to them crazy, belittling them, all these things that have happened because they're going into the ways of the heathen. All right. So let me get this precept right here. 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 1. First Kings chapter 11 and verse 1, if I may. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of the Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Like, not only is this symbolic of, not even symbolic, this is literal. Solomon was dealing with these heathen women, and that's what destroyed him. You understand? They took away his heart from serving the Lord to serving other gods. If you don't take it serious in the woman that you're dealing with and that you're choosing, you're going to deal with a strange woman, even if she is technically an Israelite. She is still a strange woman because her culture is that of the oppressor. She is still a victim of Willie Lynch syndrome, and everything in her is going to be used to destroy you. And so we got to be on guard and not to deal with a strange woman in that spirit, in that essence, right? Because that's exactly what Willie Lynch wanted our people to do. Is when you deal with women that he has destroyed, our whole family gets set off, right? However, and we're gonna get to the other side of this because this is not a class to just sit here and go in on black women and explain about how horrible they are. This is a class to explain about how horrible the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of is, and how he has done these things to take us back. And this is a miracle for brothers to come in. And even though they've done all these things to destroy us, be strong enough to fight against these women that are being used as what was it called? I don't know what to say. I'm gonna say a Trojan horse, but being used as, it's almost like a proxy war, they say. Like Iran is beefing with Israel, but they don't want to go to war straight up with Israel. So they have a proxy war where they pay people in Lebanon to go to war with Israel. They pay people in what's the other one? In Syria and in Gaza. They give them money and funds in Yemen to go to war with Israel. That's how the oppressor is doing. He's having a proxy war against black men with the black woman. He's paying them in order to destroy us. And so the only men that have been able to be strong enough to not let the woman conquer us and destroy us and go against this Willie Lynch syndrome are the priests and prophets in the ISUBK under Commander General Yohanan. All right. And so let's keep going right here. We're going to go back to 1 Ezra chapter 4. Let's start at chapter 4 and verse 37. Wine is wicked. The king is wicked. And such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. Verse 38. As for the truth, it endureth, it is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And all men do well like of her works. All right. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth. All right. And so that's the only thing that can overcome the power of a woman is the truth. Right? If you don't have the truth, that woman is going to destroy you. If she doesn't have the truth, that woman is going to destroy you, right? And that's why we have 70% of black households being raised with single parent mothers, because they don't have the truth. And we're going to show you how powerful and how great women can be in the Bible when they do have the truth. Because that same thing, just think about it. Just could you imagine? Could you imagine if they're showing you, right? Ooh wee. We'll go back to this PowerPoint for the show up. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. I skip down a couple things to making a slave. So it says right here, real quick, and we'll get back to the precepts. You want to make a slave? Take the meanest and most restless nigga, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggas, the female, the nigga, infant, salagi for this. You know what I mean? This is just what it's saying, how it's talking. Tar and feather him, tie each leg to a different horse in opposite directions, set them afire and beat both horses to pull them apart in front of the remaining Negroes. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining Negro males to the point of death in front of the female and infant. Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him, for he can be useful for future breeding. Right? The breaking process of the black woman. Then take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any signs of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last little bit of bitch out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so, you will spoil good economics, so you'll get rid of that money that you can get out of her. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. So not only are what we're hearing today is that, okay, destroy this woman by destroying the men that she needs to protect her. When she sees that the men that are supposed to protect her are not able to do it, she's going to be in such a state of fear. She's going to be frozen. She's not going to be able to basically think independently. Think dependently on her man. She's going to become independent, and she's going to become dependent upon her slave master. She's going to teach that to her children. And they say if she wants to show any signs of resistance, then you don't hesitate to beat her down and extract that resistance out of her. And that's the sisters that may want to come into the truth. As soon as they start saying things and getting in order, her family is going to come up against her and try to beat that resistance out of her. So that's why you sisters learning these things got to be strong and know that these people that are coming up against you for going against what they've been taught, you have to stay the course and know that that's in them because they're slaves. All right? And Salakia, I think I'll skip down a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what it says. There we go. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into this area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in the breaking process of the female Negro. We have reversed relationships. That's important. They reversed the relationships. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized Negro male, and she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring, who would raise the female offspring to be dependent like her. Nature had provided time with this balance. What is this saying? In other words, they reversed the males with the females. Now you're going to have feminine women and masculine, effeminate men and masculine women. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized Negro man. What is that really saying? In her free state, in her Israelite state, she would have a strong dependency on her Israelite man. She would look up to him for guidance. She would depend upon him. And she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent Israelite son. She can let him become a man. She wouldn't try to protect him and make him docile, make him effeminate, make him go with the ways of this culture. Just put on a tie, learn how to talk softly. Just sit down in your class and listen to whatever your teachers say. Don't be getting into no fights when you go to school. If the police pull you over, son, you got to learn how to put your head down and shut your mouth. Like, don't be strong, be weak. She's doing that and teaching that to her son in order to protect him. In order to protect her daughter, guess what? She has to raise her to be independent. Don't depend on a male. He can't protect you. He can't save you. You're going to have to do this on your own. And so when we grow up in this society, we think that that is Black culture for women to be strong. Big mama holding the family down. Big mama doing this. Big mama doing that. That's the pillar of the family, the matriarch of the family, when that's not how we were before we came here. And that is important into them, being in charge of us, right? And so I'm going to skip down a little bit. Because she has become psychologically independent, okay, she will train. I already said that already. And now, what have you got? You got the Negro woman out front and the man behind scared. This is a perfect situation for sound and sleep economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alert and on guard all times. Now we can sleep soundly. For out of fear, frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her infant slave process. He is a good tool. Now we're ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. Like, man, this woman, once she is on board, once she's doing whatever the white man wants her to do, they can go to sleep. Once she is on board with what he wants out of life, they can go to sleep at night. Good night. They don't got to worry about a goddamn thing because she is going to instill all of his mentality into her children, and they're going to continue in this pathway of destruction because the woman is the one that spends the most time with the children, and the woman is the one that is nurturing them from birth and who they're going to follow from day one, man. And the only way that we can take back the family is to be the ones that get her in line with the righteousness and the spirit that the Lord wants. And that's why we have precepts like, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3, Baba Kashah. And we're going to close out and do 5 more minutes. We'll bring out the rest of these precepts real quick and get straight to it. These are the first steps to getting us back in line and getting order. Because in their culture, you have things reversed. This Bible is putting things back in order. Shalom Yabashim Shabbat to priest and officer 500 Uraga Bar. You understand? Shalom Yahweh Shamar Thambashim Yahshai to the sister Isa Ra on here as well. And Shalom Yabashim Shabbat to the young brother. You understand? Yeshaya, coming up strong in this truth. You understand? And the Lord is with that brother because he's with his family. He's coming up strong. I can't wait to see this brother, be called Trooper Yeshaya. And then we're going to see him Officer Yeshaya. And then we're going to see him Hebrew Academy graduate Yeshaya. And we're going to see him raise up men in this work of the Lord if Christ don't return before all those things happen, and we, get to where we need to go into this kingdom that we've been working for and get on those chariots. You understand? All right. But let's go to this part of that Willie Lynch syndrome. Told you they wanted to reverse the role of a man. This means this is evil for a woman to be in charge of a man. If that's what Willie Lynch is saying is glorious for them, it's evil for us. And so if this is righteous for us, this is evil for them. It's the same thing. The things that we're doing is evil to the oppressor. You got to think about that. If this is what the Lord wants us to do, then this is what Satan doesn't want you to do. And if this is what Satan wants you to do, this is what the Lord doesn't want you to do. It's very simple, right? So why it's like right in front of you. They're telling you the woman have to be in charge of the black household for the black household to be destroyed and for us to be slaves. The man has to be in charge of the household for us to get free and for us to end this slavery and captivity. And this is what it's saying right here in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High. Like, in order for our men to be righteous, we have to follow Yahweh Shai Mashiach. We can't follow the oppressor. We can't choose his ways. We can't sell his dope anymore. We can't pimp women anymore. We can't be effeminate anymore. Those are the ways of the oppressor. Wearing nail polish. Little Yachty out here selling nail polish to black men. Where did that come from? White men been wearing nail polish. Rock stars and all that. That's their culture. You can't be like them and serve the Lord. You got to separate yourself from that. You got to be better. You understand? You got to reverse these things that they put. So the things that he does is to destroy us. The things that the Lord wants us to do are the opposite of that. It's to build us up. So, but I would have you know, the head of every man is Christ. And if a man is following the Lord, he is going to lead his family in the right way. And the head of the woman is the man. That is the one that's supposed to be in charge. That's going to take us out of this captivity. And that puts fear in the mind of your oppressor. Because it told you, they can't sleep at night. When you up and you doing this, they can't sleep at night because they're like, oh my goodness, these Negroes are standing up, becoming strong. This is what we thought would never happen. It literally tells you, I ain't going to read the Willie Lynch papers anymore, but if you read through it all, it says that it would take a phenomenon, basically a miracle, for this slave breaking to be broken. For all the things they did to make us a slave, for us to go against it is really a miracle has to happen. And that's literally what happened, all right, for us to find this truth and move like this. All right, let's go to a couple more prisons I want to get to, all right. Let's see. Okay. Last thing on this. Let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 21. Now, like I said, not only are we going to talk about sisters that we're going to talk about sisters in the world that have been weak and followed the oppressor, but let's show women that have followed the Lord in the Bible and how it has made them strong. And with this being a feast of dedication, let's give some glory to one solid sister in our history that held it down in a different way than many have ever when it comes to the Lord. All right. 2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 21. Let's see what it says right here. So we give you the gist. If you haven't heard the story, we're not going to go through all the stuff. But the sister had 7 sons. The sons were put in a position where they were told they had to eat some pork, eat some swine's flesh. If they didn't, they would be put to death. And before they would just be killed, not the easy way, they would be tortured. Every limb, every finger, every arm, every part of their body would be cut off, and then they would be put to death. And this woman sat and encouraged her sons not to be weak, like it says in the Willie Lynch, where she would show and encourage her sons to follow the oppressor. She told them to resist the oppressor. And that's how I know this sister was raised up by a righteous man herself. Because this is, in order for her to be this strong, she had to learn this from having a righteous father. She didn't come from a single parent household that would have taught her how to be destroyed. She came up from a strong family that raised her up right, and she was able to raise up her sons in the right way. And so after you see in we start at verse 20, the book of second Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, this happened in one day. Good night. That's a long goddamn day. The children that you birthed and raised up, to see them to suffer and go through this atrocities, that is where she deserved all the honor. Even though the men, they suffered the pain of going through it, a true mother's love for her child is different, man. It's a different type of love because she birthed this child, she brought him to the earth. She is not supposed to experience her sons losing their life. That is not the order of things. A child is supposed to bury their parents, man. That is one of the toughest and hardest pains any mother could go through, is to lose her child's life. That is something that, you know, the strongest person, the strongest woman would break in seeing that. That's something that would break a strong man, not him losing his son, but watch another woman that he loves lose her son or daughter. That is something that would break someone else just witnessing her go through that, right? Not only did she go through this one time in one day, and it wasn't just like the son had passed away because of some random situation. She is watching them suffer in agony and pain, and not once, but 7 different times. So this is why this verse is very important. And this is something that I've read and heard this story countless times, but this verse stands out to me right now. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage. Because, see, this is key right here. She bare it with good courage for no reason. Why was she able to deal with this situation? Why was she able to have the courage and the strength to go with this situation? It's just because of her? It's because she was such a great person? Nah, because of the hope that she had in the Lord. That's why she was able to deal with it this way. There's nothing else that would have given her the strength to go through that other than her hope in the Lord. That's the power of the truth. So not only when we read in Ezra where we said that the most powerful thing on earth is not a woman, but it's the truth. The truth made this woman more strong as well. The truth is what allowed her to be able to go through something like this because she had her hope and trust in the Lord. Verse 21, yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits. What does it mean to exhort? We'll look that up real quick. Exhort, get right back to it and finish this out. Salaki. Exhort, definition. She exhorted them, strongly encouraged someone to do something. She urged them, similar words. She enjoined, she called on, she tried to persuade. That's the definition of exhort. When you try to persuade someone, she encouraged them to give up their life because she wanted them to be remembered as honorable men and not cowards. That's the strength of a black woman in righteousness, of a Latina woman in righteousness, to see the bigger picture, that we're not worried what these devils can do to us. We're not worried about what Satan can have against us. We put our trust in the Lord, and we will let our sons do what they need to do to be men and be remembered as men and not to be weak, because that's what your oppressor did with Willie Lynch, is to get the woman to convince the son to become weak and to become soft. All right. So, verse 21 again. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them. So, when we say the woman is the weaker vessel, that doesn't mean women are supposed to be weak. They're just not as strong as a man when it comes to things like this. But she put aside her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach and had the courage to step up and go against these oppressors, which shows she knew that they were the devil and she had a hatred for them as well. She was disgusted at what her people were doing behind these Greeks and these goddamn Hellenistic bastards coming to her people and convincing them to do these things against the Lord. And she had enough disdain for them that she was willing to let her sons give up that ultimate sacrifice and encourage them to do that. And even though this is a great pain to her. All right. And so we can go through all that at a different time. The last thing, let's see if I got one more. I had some good precepts for some strong sisters. Deborah, I'm just going to paraphrase them real quick, but Deborah in the 4th chapter of Judges went out, 4th and 5th chapter, cut off a goddamn heathen's head for the work of the Lord, because she put aside her womanly thoughts in order to have courage, in order to stand for the Lord and his people and his nation. Esther, give a shout out to sisters like her. Esther in the 4th chapter of the book of Esther in verse 16. Let me see if I can pull that one real quick. Esther right here. Esther chapter 4, verse 16. And it reads, go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so I will go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. That's a cold, man, gangster sister right there, man. The sister didn't have no fear for her life of and death. She said she is going to do whatever it takes to uplift her people and her nation, even if she is going to perish and die. Susanna, we're going to go to another strong sister that was, had the spirit of the Lord upon her and wasn't going to cower down to these oppressors, man. Let's see. Right here. Susanna, chapter 1 and verse, was it 23? And it reads, then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, it is death unto me. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. And so she said, they said, if you cry out against us, we're going to say that you out here committing adultery and you're going to be put to death for this. She said, you know what? I'm not about to sit here and go along with what you say and become a whore for you and let you sleep with me. I'm gonna take the odds of me being put to death, and at least I'll deal with the Lord than to sin against the Lord and commit this atrocious act and defile my body and myself. I would rather die than to go along with y'all in this evil and wickedness. And so that's the spirit we want, you know what I'm saying, our sisters to be in and our brothers to be in. If these sisters in the Bible could be strong like this, then we got to have the courage and the strength to be like them today and not, you know, let the things of the world take us away from doing what the Lord wants and needs us to do. And and definitely these sisters in these times always remember that the Lord is more powerful than all those things, and that there has been things that happen. Learn that history. Learn why you have become the way you are, and learn to make that decision. If you really believe this is the truth, if you genuinely believe the ISUBK is the home of the truth, you believe the things that we teach are beneficial to you. It's easy to read the Bible. The most important thing is not to read these precepts, it's to live these precepts. So when that brother that's over you as your husband is telling you certain things, and your natural inclination is to do this and to do that and to usurp his authority and go against it, you got to remember that whose team are you working for in that time? Are you working for the Lord or are you working for Satan? Is this what the Lord wants you to do? Is this how he wants you to be? Or is this Satan and what he wants you to do and how he wants you to be? And if you can come to that conclusion that hey, maybe this is not what the Lord wants, based on these different verses and things we read in the Bible, then make that adjustment and pivot and obey your husband and put him back in the spot that Willie Lynch tried to take him out of. And I guarantee you, if you could imagine how powerful, if that woman has the power to destroy the family, doing the things that Willie Lynch says, imagine how great the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community would be with a woman behind him, with a woman building him up, with a woman getting out of the way and letting him lead the family. You know how great it is? It's so great. The FBI is following the UPK. You understand? The FBI is coming to Captain Zaryak's house. The FBI is coming to talk to Commander Jenny Hanna. Why? Because they are in fear of black men rising up and black women getting in order. They have no fear of a woman that disrespects her husband. They have no fear of a woman that raises her son to be effeminate. They have no fear of a woman that is promoting whoredom amongst their people. They not only have no fear of it, they love and welcome it. That's what Sexy Red is. That's what Cardi B is. That's what these rappers are, these female rappers, Megan Thee Stallion, are. They don't fear them, they promote them. If you had a black woman talking about loving black men, supporting black men, they would fear that and hate that. And that reminds me of someone closer to Lauren Hill, that they always started saying she was going crazy and she was doing this. She never showing up to shows. And they talk about her like a dog because what was she promoting in our community? Something that was positive and something that would uplift women. She's telling women to not dress a certain way, to not deal with this any old man because he got a nice car or got some jewelry. He got money, man. And they like, oh no, this she got to go. So that's who you should be. That's who you should craft and make yourself after, is women like Esther, women like Deborah, women like Susanna. You understand? Women that stood on principles and stood on business when it comes to the Lord. And if we do that, we can just imagine doing that. I promise you, say, you know what? I'm not going to do what my mother did. I'm not going to do what my sisters do. I'm going to do something different. I guarantee you, you will see a change in that man that you're dealing with, and you will see a change in your children that you're raising up, and you will see this place begin to crumble at the seams because they're telling you they built their empire on you doing what the hell your slave master wants you to do. And if it's that simple for them to build up the greatest nation on planet Earth the world has ever seen, Think about that. This nation has been to the goddamn moon. And the only way they was get there is because having a black woman hate a black man, having a black man hate the black woman. If they were able to get to the moon with us hating each other, we'll mess around and be on Jupiter in a couple months if we able to love each other, man, and come together, man. So let's use that strength. If she can sit and suffer and watch her sons be put to death, you can for damn sure sit down and shut your mouth when your husband is telling you to shut your mouth, man. If you truly love the Lord, serve the Lord in that way by honoring your husband. You understand? So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out that class. Once again, these sisters, we not here to, man, the sisters in the UPK is doing that. The sisters in the UPK is honoring their husband. They have beaten these curses. They changing generational wealth. You sisters in the world, y'all need to take notes from these sisters and get online and get in order. You understand? Because they know how to keep a man. You don't know how to keep a man because you can't close your damn mouth or close your damn legs. Those are the first things. And if you want to learn how to do that, come into the school and these men will raise you up and point you in the direction of a righteous husband and someone that you can serve and know that is going to lead you and your family out of this captivity. Thus saith the Lord. All right. With that, I'm going to salute everyone out. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai, Brother Thumb, to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema, Thumb, Shem Shai, to all the sisters. All right. Class is dismissed.